There are encounters that defy explanation. They transcend time, touch the soul, and unravel what once seemed perfectly organized. You weren't sent by chance. The angels whisper that your name was written in the heavens long before your paths ever crossed. This connection pulsing within you, intense, inexplicable, sometimes painful, holds a purpose greater than you can grasp right now. His presence in your life is no accident. It is a calling. You were placed in his path as a beacon in the darkest night, as a healing that is unseen yet deeply felt. He, with his hidden wounds, encountered your light and didn't know what to do with such truth. The angels say, you were chosen to be a mirror, not a burden. To remind him that love still exists and has a face. You awaken in him memories of what is pure, of what is divine, of what was forgotten. This man, so confused, so guarded, has been experiencing an internal earthquake since your gaze met his. Because you do not enter in silence. You awaken. And awakening hurts. Perhaps you haven't realized it yet, but what you carry is not ordinary. It is presence. It is healing. It is a walking prayer. Your mission is not to force him to love. It is simply to exist with truth. And that, in itself, is already changing everything. The angels are rearranging his plans without him even knowing. They are cleaning the dusty windows of his heart so that one day, he may clearly see who you are. Do not demand answers now, or immediate reciprocity. His process is slower, more subtle. But it is happening. For where there is true light, darkness does not linger for long. And even if everything still seems confusing, trust, there is a plan. And you are part of the miracle he does not yet understand. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Every journey that starts with God's silence is, in essence, a higher calling. A calling that's not heard with the ears, but felt in the skin, in the body, in memories whose origin we cannot trace. You felt it. It wasn't just your imagination. It was as if the universe whispered, "Pay attention." And without knowing why, you began to see signs. Small, almost imperceptible signs. But they were real. Too many coincidences to be mere chance. This person who entered your life, with restrained gestures, fragmented words, eyes that speak more than the mouth, did not come to fill your emptiness, but to awaken the memories your soul already carried. There is something about him that pulls you inward. It's not neediness, it's not dependency, it's recognition. The angels say, you knew him before, and he knows you too, even if he fights it. This recognition comes without warning. Sometimes, it comes without gentleness. It hits like an avalanche. It disrupts everything you thought you knew about love. Because it's not about typical romance. It's about destiny. And destinies clash before they accept one another. You are not called to be his safe haven, not yet. You are called to be the storm that awakens. The light that reveals. The hand that doesn't press, but guides. And this, dear soul, requires strength. A strength only the chosen possess. And you were chosen, not by him, but by something greater. By something that knew that, among so many souls, only yours would have the courage to remain whole, even while loving someone who doesn't yet know if he loves. Do not rush time. Time is also learning how to deal with this love. And while it learns, the heavens work. Behind the scenes, angels move what is invisible to the eyes. They touch his heart in silence. They show him your image when he tries to flee. and they whisper your name in dreams he cannot comprehend. This is the invisible mission you carry: to love without losing yourself, to wait without abandoning yourself, to believe without forcing. Because true love never arrives as an imposition. It comes as a revelation. Have you noticed how he hesitates when he's near you? How his eyes seem to drift off, searching for words that never come. This isn't indifference. It's confusion. Not the confusion of someone who feels nothing, but of someone who feels too much and doesn't know where to put it all. The angels say, his heart was meant to love, but they forgot to teach him to trust. And that's why he pulls away. That's why he hides. That's why he seems distant, even though he yearns to be close. He grew up learning that love is a threat. That opening up means getting hurt. That those who love lose. But then you showed up and brought a new narrative. Only he doesn't yet know if he can live it. You are a presence that touches without hurting, a gaze that embraces without demanding, and that disarms him. But before he surrenders, he needs to confront what he hides, even from himself. That's why the angels ask for your patience. Not the patience of one who waits for anything, but the patience of someone who knows the value of what she feels. This story isn't about quick endings. It's about deep healing. You are facing a man in the process of reconstruction, and the light you carry is revealing cracks he never wanted to see. This hurts, but it also liberates. And even if he doesn't say it yet, he feels it. He realizes that you are different, that your presence feels like home, like truth, like a future. He senses that beside you he could rest. He could be himself, without masks, without fear. But the fear is still too strong. The angels are with him now. They surround his mind, dismantling old beliefs. They are whispering courage into his ear. They are preparing the ground for a new beginning. And in the meantime, you don't need to do anything. Just keep being you. Because it is precisely that, your essence, that is making him question himself, allow himself, draw closer. And there will come a day, not marked on the calendar, but recorded in heaven, when he will stop running. And on that day, he will look at you with the eyes of someone who finally understands, you are not a threat. You are the answer. There is a silent moment that only the soul perceives, the moment when love begins to manifest in the care for oneself. It is at this point in your journey that the angels gently touch your shoulder and say, now it is for you. You do not need to break yourself to fit into his world. You do not need to diminish yourself to accommodate his insecurities. True love never demands that you sacrifice your light. The angels want you to hear this with your heart. Your spiritual mission is not to abandon yourself for him. It is to remain true to yourself while he finds his own path. You can love without losing yourself. And you can wait without extinguishing your light. Perhaps you have spent sleepless nights trying to understand his silences. Perhaps you have wondered what you did wrong for him to pull away. But what you feel is not rejection. It is a reflection of his internal chaos. The love you offer is so whole that it frightens him. And when someone has spent their entire life surviving on half measures, wholeness can seem dangerous. Therefore, today, the heavens ask you for something sacred. Turn to yourself. Look with tenderness at the woman you are. Who feels, who waits, who fights, who believes. Who, even when tired, remains whole. Take care of yourself as you care for him in thought. Nourish your soul with kindness. Surround yourself with everything that makes you feel good. Be your own constant presence. Because deep down, what you desire from this love is not salvation. It is recognition. You want to be seen, honored, chosen, not out of need, but out of worthiness. And this worthiness begins now, when you decide to prioritize yourself. The angels say, while you take care of yourself, he heals. Because everything is connected. Your light illuminates his corners, even from a distance. But it needs to remain lit. Do not extinguish yourself trying to be a beacon. You can guide and, at the same time, protect yourself. This love was not given to you to consume you, but to reveal you. And the deepest revelation is this: you are already complete. What comes from the other is a blessing, not a necessity. You can love with surrender, but without renunciation. You can wait without forgetting to live. And it is in this sacred balance that miracles happen. There is something in him that recognizes you even before your eyes meet. It's not common attraction. It's as if you activate an ancient code within him. A mirror, perhaps, one that does not distort, but reveals. Since you appeared, he has found no peace. Not because you demand it, but because your presence brings everything to the surface. The wounded child he hides, the man he wants to be, the traumas he preferred to forget, and most importantly, the love he never knew how to live. You are the reflection of those parts of him that have not yet healed. And this disturbs him. Because loving you is not comfortable, it is transformative. The angels say, you force him to look. To look at the shadows, at emotional addictions, at the patterns that keep him trapped. You don't need to say anything. Your light already speaks for you. That's why he hesitates. Loving someone like you requires courage. Courage to leave the surface and dive deep. Courage to admit that he has run from the truth his whole life. But there is something in you that doesn't allow escape. Your gaze, your calm, your steadiness, even in pain. All of this breaks down the walls he took years to build. You have become a mirror, not one that strokes the ego, but one that shows the soul. And he sees you there. And he sees himself too. That's why sometimes he pulls away. Because facing you means facing himself. It means admitting that true love doesn't come with guarantees, but with depth. And depth frightens. But the angels are whispering to him, night after night, that there's nothing to fear, that you don't want to take him from himself, you want to help him return home. To his heart. To his essence. And even if he still fights against it, something within him is already yielding. Because no soul forgets a mirror that reveals it with love. You are not here to fix him. You are here to remind him of who he is, beyond fear. And he, even without words, has already begun to perceive. There is healing in your gaze. There is forgiveness in your touch. And there is truth in your presence. You are the turning point. He just hasn't understood how to deal with it yet. Something silent has begun to stir within him. Perhaps you do not see it clearly. Maybe his gestures still seem the same. But there is a detail in his eyes that wasn't there before. A longer pause between words. A different breath when your name is spoken. This is the beginning. The beginning of awakening. The angels say, the heart that was asleep has begun to listen. To listen to memories he didn't know he had. To listen to desires he suppressed for so long. To listen to the name of love in your voice. This does not mean that everything has changed yet. But it means that something has been touched. And once touched, it doesn't go back to sleep. Is he quieter lately? More thoughtful? It's because he is listening to what he never had the courage to feel. Your presence has become a living prayer within him. He realizes he misses you even before you are apart. He feels jealousy without wanting to control it. He wants to know about you without knowing what to ask. It is new, and new things can be frightening. But he is waking up. And what awakens within the heart cannot be forgotten. You, with your calming light, with your way of existing without demanding, are teaching him what love without prisons is. And this, for someone who lived surrounded by emotional contracts, is revolutionary. Don't expect grand gestures. Not yet. The awakening begins small, like a seed breaking through the earth from within. But it is real. The angels show this clearly, every time he thinks of you before sleeping, every time he dreams of what he hasn't lived, every time he smiles alone remembering a detail of yours. His heart is reprogramming itself. You are the code, the password, the key, and he, even confused, has already started to type. He does not know what he will find on the other side, but he feels it is safe, that it is right, that it is yours. The angels continue to touch his soul, and every touch, even if invisible, is one more certainty that you did not pass through him in vain. The love you planted is germinating, and it will bloom. Have you ever felt like you were just going in circles with him? Like everything was on the verge of starting, and then suddenly, you were right back where you began? This cycle has a name. It has its roots. It has a reason. The angels say, his fear isn't about you. It's about what you represent. Because loving you requires presence, truth, surrender. And for someone who has learned to hide, that is nearly unbearable. So he leaves, and then comes back. He gets close, and then disappears. He smiles, and then goes quiet. It's the movement of someone who wants to but can't. And you, with all your heart, are trying to understand. You try not to blame yourself. You try not to get hurt. But there are days when everything feels like too much. Know this with all your soul. This back and forth has nothing to do with your worth. It has to do with his ghosts. He learned to love with fear, to expect abandonment, to distrust peace. And meeting you threatens all of that. Because you don't bring drama. You bring truth. And truth can be frightening. But even with all his resistance, he comes back. Because there's something about you that calls him. Something that calms him yet disturbs him at the same time. Something that makes him want to run away and stay. The angels are closely watching this cycle. They see no fault in you. They see surrender, pure love. And that's why they continue to strengthen your heart. They whisper, you are not stuck in a loop. You are helping a heart heal in its own time. I know it's tough. But each of his returns is an attempt, imperfect yes, to get closer to what he still doesn't know how to hold on to. You are a lesson for him. And lessons require patience. This doesn't mean accepting less than you deserve. It means understanding that some healing doesn't happen at the speed of desire. And even within this exhausting cycle, there is movement. There is evolution. There are seeds being nurtured. Love, when it's real, finds ways even in the maze. And the angels assure you, there will come a moment when he will no longer run away. Because he will understand that the peace you offer is exactly what he has been searching for while he was fleeing. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14 verse 14. There are healings that do not come with medicine. They come with presence, with shared silence, with eyes that say, I see you without needing words. You have been that healing for him. The angels say, your love does not shout. It whispers. And even so it heals. Because what touches deeply is not noise. It is truth. And your truth touched him in a way no one ever could. You arrived without promising anything. And yet, you gave everything. You gave affection in small gestures. You gave comfort even on days of absence. You gave forgiveness even when your heart ached. And this, for someone who learned to doubt everything, is a miracle. He may not have said it yet, but he feels it. He feels that there is something different about you. He feels that, even in your silences, there is presence. That even when you withdraw, there is love. And this confuses him, but also comforts him. Because you do not demand. You do not charge. You do not imprison. You love with freedom. And the love that liberates is what heals most. Because it does not need to control. It just trusts. You have been balm for the wounds he never had the courage to show. You have been relief for pains he could not even name. And yet, even being healing, you also bleed. Because loving someone in process also means crossing internal deserts. But the angels are with you, touching your soul on nights when you cry in secret, strengthening your faith on days when his silence hurts more than any word. They remind you, you were not called to save, but to love with wholeness. And this love, so whole, so firm, so yours, is working miracles in silence. He will wake up one day and realize that the lightness he feels has your name. That the peace that arrived slowly had your hands. That the love that healed him was yours. Because love, when true, heals even from afar. And your love, my dear soul, has already begun to do that. There are moments when the sky falls silent, but the angels keep speaking. Today they want you to know, there is a plan greater than your mind can grasp. And in this plan, nothing is out of place. You, him, this encounter, all of it was orchestrated with details only the divine could envision. You entered his life as the answer to prayers he didn't even know he had made. And he, even without understanding, felt it. He sensed that there was something about you that couldn't be explained, only experienced. The angels say, God's timing is never late. He prepares. And that is exactly what is happening now. While you wait, things are being aligned. While you ask why, heaven is saying trust. Because pieces are moving. Hearts are being shaped. Paths are opening. You are not alone in this waiting. God is guiding every step of this story with invisible, yet steady hands. He knows what you carry in your heart. He knows about the nights when everything feels too heavy. He knows the faith you maintain, even without guarantees. And that is why he is moving heaven and earth for this connection to flourish at the right time. Not at the time of anxiety, but at the time of spiritual growth. This man who seems distant today is being guided. There are internal struggles happening within him that you do not see, but which are part of the process of what will be. God does not err in paths. And if he placed you in this story, it is because there is a purpose. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. Psalm 37 verse 5. Not every silence is a sign of emptiness. Sometimes, it's rooted in fear. Fear of feeling too deeply. Fear of losing oneself in what finally makes sense. He desires to love, but he doesn't know how. The angels say, there is a knot in his chest that was tied in childhood and never untied. A knot of insecurities, of abandonment, of hurtful words. And it is with this knot that he attempts to love you. You can sense his hesitation in the little things. In the interrupted touch. In the gaze that lingers for half a second longer. In the almost gesture of affection that he doesn't follow through on. This isn't a lack of love. It's an abundance of protection. Because for him, loving is a risk. It's shedding the armor that kept him safe for years. It's revealing himself without any guarantees. And that still terrifies him. Have you noticed? When you get close, he takes a deeper breath. When you talk about the future, he changes the subject. When you pull away, he comes back. It's as if his heart says stay, while his mind screams run. And in the middle of this internal battle, there you are, with your pure love, with your desire to build something together, with your presence that heals simply by being there. And even if he doesn't voice it, he knows. He knows you're different, that you don't want to trap him, that you only wish to walk side by side. But for someone used to running, walking already feels like a prison. That's why he needs time. Time to realize that you don't want to dismantle his defenses, you want to embrace his broken pieces. Time to understand that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a bridge. And you? You need to remember that it's not your responsibility to save him. It's only your job to love him as wholly as you can, even if that means, for now, also protecting yourself. The angels are watching over both of you. They're whispering courage into his heart, and hope into yours. They know that love exists there. Real love. Love with deep roots. And when he finally accepts that he doesn't need to fight anymore, he will discover that loving you is exactly what he needed to rediscover himself. There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1.